A Course in Miracles. Lesson 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear, and you will be a stranger to yourself, and thus you are unknown to you. What is yourself remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such a circumstance? Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not, and judge against himself? There is a stranger in our midst, who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth he speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him, while he is alien now who is at home. And yet, how easy it would be to say, "This is my home. Here I belong, and will not leave because a madman says I must." What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you had asked this stranger in to take your place, and let you be a stranger to yourself? No one would let himself be dispossessed so needlessly, unless he thought there were another home more suited to his tastes. Who is the stranger? Is it fear, or you who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his Son? Is fear his own, created in his likeness? Is it fear that love completes, and is completed by? There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. How simply then the question is resolved. Who fears has but denied himself and said, "I am the stranger here, and so I leave my home to one more like me than myself, and give him all I thought belonged to me." Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things but this, that he is not himself, and that his home has been denied to him. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in, and took no alien thought to be itself, and it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own. Who is the stranger? Is he not the one yourself calls not? You are unable now to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. Yet is yourself as certain of its own as God is of his Son? He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his Son. God's certainty suffices. Whom he knows to be his Son belongs where he has set his Son forever. He has answered you who ask, "Who is the stranger?" Hear his voice assure you, quietly and sure, that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator stranger made to you. Whom God has joined, remain forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own, and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves. Yet as they give him welcome, they remember, and he leads them gently home again, where they belong. Not one does Christ forget. Not one he fails to give you to remember, that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. Who denies his brother is denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight,
by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come. Lesson 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here.
You gave away your place. What if the stranger was never you? A Course in Miracles, Lesson 160. Detective Boy had been following the same trail for weeks. Everywhere he looked, somebody was searching for peace, searching for love, searching for purpose, searching for meaning, searching for home. And every time he asked where they thought they were going to find it, the answers were different. A relationship, more money, a different job, a different city, a different version of themselves. But Lesson 160 introduces a possibility so strange it changes the entire investigation. What if the one searching is already home? Now Detective Boy puts down his coffee and opens his notebook. Because the cloud is giving off clues. Home, stranger, fear, belongs. Those words are not randomly scattered throughout the lesson. They form a pattern. A stranger is someone unfamiliar, someone you do not recognize, someone who does not belong, someone who arrives from somewhere else, someone standing outside the agreement. And Jesus keeps asking the same question. Who is the stranger? Notice what he does not ask. He does not ask what fear wants. He does not ask how fear got here. He does not ask how to negotiate with fear. He asks who the stranger is. That is a very different investigation. Most people assume they know who they are. Lesson 160 quietly challenges that assumption. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. Read that again. A stranger to yourself. How can the one thing closest to you become unfamiliar? How can the one thing you never leave become unknown? Detective Boy circles that clue in red ink. Because if you become unfamiliar with yourself, then every search afterward is built on a mistaken identity. Now the search makes sense. Now the seeking makes sense. Now the not finding makes sense. A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look. Of course not. If the homeowner forgets he owns the house, every door will seem locked, every room will seem foreign, every search will end in frustration, not because home is missing, but because the homeowner no longer recognizes it. Then Jesus introduces another clue. Alien, foreign, out of place, something that does not belong, something that was never part of the original home. Fear is presented as though it belongs in the house, as though it has always lived there, as though it has ownership rights, as though it has a permanent address. Detective Boy flips through the evidence and finds none. No deed, no contract, no claim, no proof of ownership. Fear simply appeared and began introducing itself as the homeowner, and somehow everyone believed it. That is actually the funniest part of the lesson. The homeowner started asking permission from the trespasser. The owner started taking orders from the guest. The king began consulting the court jester, and nobody thought that was strange. Until Jesus showed up and asked one simple question. Who is the stranger? Suddenly the entire case falls apart, because fear cannot answer. Fear cannot explain where it came from. Fear cannot explain how love created it. Fear cannot explain how something eternal could produce its opposite. Fear cannot explain why home would create homelessness, or why wholeness would create exile, or why God would create a son who could somehow stop being his son. The story begins to crack, and through the crack, another possibility appears. What if nobody was ever thrown out? What if nobody was ever abandoned? What if nobody was ever exiled? What if the homeowner never left? Now another word from the lesson steps forward. Dispossessed. Someone deprived of property. Someone removed from what already belongs to them. Someone who believes they have lost their rightful place. That is exactly how the ego feels: displaced, disconnected, forgotten, homeless. But Jesus keeps pulling on the same thread. Who told you that you no longer belong? Who convinced you that your place had been taken? Who told you home was somewhere else? Detective Boy smiles because he has heard this story before. The search, the waiting, the seeking, the not yet. The promise that fulfillment is always around the next corner, always tomorrow, always somewhere else, never here, never now. Lesson 160 brings the investigation to a turning point. What if the problem was never that home was absent? What if the problem was believing you were the stranger? Now another clue emerges. No stranger can be interposed between God and his Son. Nothing can be inserted between them. Nothing can stand in the middle. Nothing can separate what was never separate. A cloud may appear to cover the sun, but it never touches the sun. A wave may rise upon the ocean, but it never leaves the ocean. Fear may appear within awareness, but it never becomes what you are. And then comes one of the most beautiful reversals in the entire lesson. Christ sees no strangers. Not because everyone behaves perfectly, not because everyone agrees with him, not because everyone has awakened. Christ sees no strangers because Christ sees no separation. He recognizes what belongs to him, even when it has forgotten itself, even when it believes it is lost, even when it believes it is exiled, even when it introduces itself by the wrong name. And perhaps that is the most comforting thought in the lesson. You may forget yourself, but yourself has not forgotten you. You may lose sight of home, but home has not lost sight of you. You may believe you are wandering, but what is real has never moved. Detective Boy closes his notebook. The case is solved. The homeowner was never missing. The deed was never transferred. The house was never abandoned. The stranger was never you.